Since the beginning of time, humans have been fascinated by vast oceans and the creatures lurking in them. That's why our imagination runs wild when it comes to imaginary sea monsters. Most of these monsters are just a part of ancient folklore. But that doesn't mean they are not scary enough. So how do these monsters come to life in stories? Have we found anything real about these creatures or not? Well, take a deep breath and get ready to dive deep with Nautical depths, because today we will debunk these legendary monsters from fiction to reality. The first sea monster we have comes straight from Greek mythology. Cetus is one of many legendary sea creatures from ancient Greek folklore. It is depicted as a large, dragon-like animal with a curved body. It was quite famous among sailors around the 2nd and 3rd centuries BCE. Its popularity reached new heights when it was depicted in Perseus and Andromeda's tale. In this famous tale, Perseus, the demigod, saved Prince Andromeda from Cetus, released by Poseidon. This tale made this sea monster quite famous among sailors and seamen back in the day. However, the researchers have debunked the mysterious origins of this creature. According to the latest research, it was another famous animal that was mistaken for this monster. Yes, that's right. It was the blue whale who became the reason for these legends. In some interpretations of Greek mythology, this imaginary creature has been associated with or mistaken for a whale. The confusion between these two is due to the similarity in their descriptions. As for the term Cetus, it might have been used as a generic term for any large sea creature rather than a specific depiction. As ancient cultures and knowledge of marine life evolved, some later translations of these myths referred to Cetus as a whale or a sea monster that resembled a whale, so it was whales all along who terrified the Greeks. Charybdis. This is another mythological sea monster from Greek folklore. It is often depicted in many stories where it acts as a villain or a hurdle to Greek heroes. Charybdis was the daughter of goddess Gaia and Poseidon, the sea god in Greek folklore. She was instrumental to her father in his war against Zeus, the god of the skies. As a result, she was cursed and turned into a huge monster. According to the famous tales, this monster was a challenge to many historical figures. It can be found in Homer's Odysseus, and other characters like Jason and Aeneas also faced this fearsome monster. In stories, it is represented as a large whirlpool with a diameter of as large as 75 feet. It resided in the Strait of Messina, a narrow passage of water between the island of Sicily and the Italian mainland. Whoever tried to cross or navigate through this passage, Charybdis appeared and devoured the whole ship, along with sailors and passengers. However, researchers have debunked its origins. In ancient times, people didn't have any knowledge about natural phenomena like whirlpools and the science behind their creation. Therefore, it was easy for them to associate a whirlpool or a powerful underwater vortex with a monster's doing. Other than that, there is no common historical confusion with another specific creature. Leviathan is one of the most famous sea monsters in ancient texts. It boasts a Hebrew origin and was first mentioned in the Old Testament of the Bible. It can be found in various religious books like the Book of Job, the Book of Enoch, and many others. The concept of the Leviathan has roots in ancient Mesopotamian mythology, and it has been adapted by various cultures over time. Thus, it is the oldest sea monster ever created by humankind. As for its appearance, it is a lot more terrifying than it sounds. Its physical appearance varies across different texts and cultural interpretations. It is often depicted in books as a large, serpentine sea creature with multiple heads or a long, curved body. It is typically described as a massive and formidable beast, capable of causing destruction on a grand scale. In some stories, it has tentacles like an octopus or squid, which adds to its menacing appearance. Scientists believe that the origin of this mythical creature could be other sea creatures, like oarfish and dragonfish. Both these animals have long, curved bodies, which look like a sea serpent in murky waters. Similar to Leviathan, Jormungand is another mythical sea monster from Norse mythology. It shares the same physical appearance with Leviathan, so it is quite possible that both these creatures have the same origin. Mermaids. Ariel from Disney is a really cool and friendly mermaid, but in several folklores, mermaids are depicted as manipulative and malicious sea creatures. They are represented as a threat to sailors and seamen going through vast oceans. The concept of this monster is present in various cultures and civilizations. In Greek mythology, they are known as sirens who enchanted sailors and dragged them into the deep sea. In Slavic folklore, mermaids are known as rusalkas. These are the spirits of drowned women who were depicted as beautiful young women with fishtails. In Roman mythology, mermaids are often called water deities who guide the spirits of dead sailors. In all these interpretations, they have the same physical appearance. However, in this modern age, scientists have some idea about the origin of this mystical creature. The latest study has found that it was the manatees or sea cows that might be mistaken for mermaids. Manatees are marine mammals with rounded bodies and flippers. When spotted from a distance, these animals appear as mermaids due to their somewhat humanoid shape and dancing movements in the water. That's why many people have claimed to spot a mermaid even these days. Loch Ness Monster. This famous sea monster is relatively new on this list, but it does hold a lot of significance in popular culture since the last century. Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie, first appeared in August 1934 in Scotland. It appeared in a local magazine in an alleged sighting by a local man. After that, the public went into a frenzy over this imaginary sea monster. In a few days, many people claimed to have seen a monster in Loch Ness Lake of the Scottish Highlands. Since its alleged appearance, a lot of investigation has been done to find this monster. Even BBC made a whole documentary about finding this creature. With the help of sonar technology and satellite imaging, scientists haven't found a clue about its existence. Still, many claims about its sighting, including photos and videos that appear from time to time. Conspiracy theory lovers still claim there is a monster in that lake. On the other hand, after an extensive search, scientists dismissed their claims as hoaxes. Now, it is nothing more than an urban legend. Kraken. This infamous sea monster needs no introduction. From ancient folklore to modern-day Hollywood, this creature has become an icon of horror among sea lovers. Its origins can be traced to medieval Scandinavian folklore. It was mentioned in various sagas and legends from that region. Over the centuries, there have been accounts of sailors describing this monster. It is typically described as a massive squid-like sea monster with long, twisting tentacles. In stories, the Kraken was known for its destructive nature. It was capable of destroying entire ships and dragging sailors into the depths. Its enormous size and power made it a fearsome presence in the sea. However, scientists have traced back the origins of this mystical beast. They believe it was the colossal squid which became the inspiration for the Kraken. The sightings of colossal squid struck fear into the hearts of sailors. Over a long time, these sightings turned into exaggerated tales about a giant monster. That's why you will only find Kraken in folklore or Disney films. We have told you about some of the famous mystical sea monsters created throughout human history. Aside from their existence, these fascinating tales still remind us of the unseen mysteries of vast oceans. Tell us which mythical monster is your nightmare stuff. Meanwhile, keep coming back to Nautical Depths for more information about marine life, mysteries, and technologies.